I can't be the only one who thinks, how come 20-year-olds are so massive these days? Like, what are they feeding these kids? I remember being in school, being normal sized. I wasn't particularly short, I wasn't particularly tall either. I was just average, but I was really skinny. And then it seemed like after school finished, the kids over the years just got bigger and bigger. I remember being 20 years old and looking at kids in year 11 and they were massive. Especially with the rise of TikTok, we've started seeing more kids who were 19, 20, 21 years old and the absolute units and crazy jacked. It made me look and think, WTF is going on? Especially these kids on TikTok who claim that they're natural and they've only been lifting 2-3 years, yet they look like they're ready to step on stage. First off, the majority of the ones who claim that they're natural are lying, and it's because they're incentivized to do so, whether it's through getting more attention and clout on the social media profiles, whether it's sponsorships or selling programs or supplements. There's a monetary incentive, and one thing I always say, why would we expect some of these kids to have values when they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars from jumping on a bit of gear in secret and lying about it? It's a pretty enticing deal if you ask me, but we're not here to talk about the natural ones today. We're here to talk about the juiced up trend gorillas such as Sam Sulek. Sam is an upcoming bodybuilder who's gained a lot of popularity on TikTok for how crazy his physique is. He's 5'10" and 240 pounds lean. He's got a very complete physique and crazy chest genetics. And let me just remind you, he's only 21. Look at him. Now, he hasn't always been a bodybuilder. Previously, he was a gymnast and then he became a diver. And we all know that gymnasts have crazy physiques due to the nature of their training. Now, what most people don't realise, it's not just the sport which gives you the physique, but more so your genetics, which will dictate which sport you do good in. So therefore, you end up giving more attention to that sport due to you being naturally good at it. And then as a byproduct, you build the physique from the sport, which your genetics are naturally made for. A simple example would be if I wanted to have a physique like a strongman. Doing strongman won't make me look like Eddie Hall. I don't have the genetics to look like that. I would quickly realise that I'm bad at it and then I would stop. Whereas the people who are naturally built for strongman get good at it and therefore have that positive reinforcement by seeing more results. Hence why they think strongman training is great for building muscle. Nope. Only for you and the people who have genetics naturally made for strongman. So gymnasts are the same. Someone who's got bad genetics for gymnastics are not going to get jacked from doing the pommel horse. So needless to say, Sam had a great foundation when he eventually transitioned over into bodybuilding. Here's a video of Sam at 17 years old looking more jacked than most 30-year-olds who go to the gym. Anyway, what's pretty scary is how big this dude is getting. He's getting bigger by the month. And we all know why, don't we? Any guesses in the comments? He's on the Juicy Lucy, of course. And most likely it's going to be strong substances such as trenbolone or just really high doses of the regular substances. Alongside Sam growing in real time, he also has visible side effects, especially in the acne department. This could be a sign he's using high doses, and I don't mean to hate on the guy here, but does this guy look 21 to you? For contrast and a little bit of a laugh, here's me at 22, just after I passed my personal training course. Now I know not everyone's the same, we've all got different genetics, but I can't help to think, when did these 20-year-olds start looking 40? When they all hopped on the trend. That's when. For all my new subscribers, we talk a lot about life, relationship dynamics, health and fitness here on this channel. And in Sam's case, there's no health side to the health and fitness equation. Now, Shaun, come on, ease up on the guy. I know he's bodybuilding, he's got different goals than most, he wants to compete, but look at the bodybuilders who have died in the last few years. It's not the generation of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, Franco Columbu, Frank Zane. They're not the ones who are dying. It's the younger generation who are dying, meaning all the bodybuilders between the ages of 20 and 50. And for all you teenagers who watch my channel, you think 50 is old. Not really. If you hear of someone dying at 50, especially when you're a little bit older, you go, oh damn, that's young. Because you realise how quick time goes. And these bodybuilders are dying 20, 30, 40 years younger than they should be. All for what? A bodybuilding trophy, a little bit of attention on Instagram, a little bit more money, respect for your physique. Women, well, newsflash, all of this can be achieved without shaving years off your life. These kids are literally speed running life. They should bring out a bodybuilding game for all the speed runners out there, see who can die the fastest. Now look, when you're gaining this massive amount of popularity, it's easy to get caught up in the numbers. My channel's been blowing up recently and my eyes have lit up. I'm like, oh, this is cool. But when your social media is blowing up, you're getting all this attention, all these DMs, people are making videos about you, your bank account is looking fatter, all because of your physique. Once again, it's that positive reinforcement that makes you think, well, I'm doing something right. Life is going good until it's not. Do you think Dallas McCarver thought he was going to die at age 26? Definitely not. What about Boston Lloyd, age 29? Of course not. These were extremely popular young bodybuilders whose social media accounts blew up. They got all sorts of attention, but What price? They died. And Sam has grown by 200,000 followers in the last month. And on TikTok, he's blowing up like crazy. I get his videos recommended to me all the time. Standing there with his mouth. Now, I only skit him because of this next bit. I'm a little bit pissed off with you, Sam, because some of the content that you make is questionable. Some of his more popular videos are where he's calling out smaller lifters, implying that you shouldn't take their advice because they are smaller. And I just hate this type of content. I used to call out people who make this exact type of content on TikTok myself, on my own account. Just because a lifter is smaller than you, it doesn't make the information that that small lifter is given bad. This is called an ad hominem attack, where you attack the person rather than the argument that they're putting out there. For example, I'm a lot smaller and naturaler than Sam. So if he says the best rep range is 8 to 10 reps, that means he's right because he's big. But what if I say the best rep range is 8 to 10 reps? Does that make me wrong because I'm smaller? Flawed logic. Okay. Let's try it this way. Let's say the Sam says using momentum and swinging on your lifts with too much weight is the best way to build muscle and avoid injury. I know he doesn't say that, but we can clearly see in his videos that he's ego lifting and he's swinging and using momentum. But what if Shaun says going to muscular failure with a weight that you can handle and control whilst maintaining the best technique that you can is the best way to build muscle and avoid injury? Who's right? Sam, because he's bigger. The person who's saying ego lift, use momentum, swing your weights around, he must be right because he's bigger. It's flawed logic. Okay, look, for the doubters, for my haters out there who still don't believe me, let's extend that logic one more time. Let's say the Sam says using momentum and swinging your weights around and ego lifting is best. Once again, by Sam's logic, he is right because he's big. But Dorian Yates said that using momentum is bad and that you must use strict form. Dorian Yates is bigger than Sam, so does that make Dorian right and Sam wrong? You see how this is completely flawed logic? Most people don't consider this. They just attack the individual. They see a skinny lad giving bad advice, don't listen to them, and then see a big juice bomb giving terrible advice and listen to them. Because clearly it works. No, it works because of genetics and steroids. That's it. So you have to learn to think for yourself and understand the science behind what actually works and not just listen to a big juice monkey and believe him blindly. And a quick plug, if you want 12 science-backed training programs, an evidence-based nutrition and supplementation system, and over 100 science-based exercise demonstrations to help you build muscle naturally, then check out my Natural Physique Academy down below. It cuts through the noise of all these lying, fake, natty, secret steroid-using 20-year-old TikTokers and teaches you exactly what works for building an athletic physique with bad genetics. Link in the description. Back to the video. As humans, we're designed on a genetic subconscious level to spot when someone is unhealthy. That's why when we look at obese people, we know that's unhealthy. When we look at anorexia, we know it's unhealthy. And also the same applies to bodybuilders. When we see someone with too much muscle on the frame, breaking out in acne, big red head, skull looking like a totem pole, big square face from all the growth hormone, we know that that's unhealthy as well. It looks like the kid's blood pressure is through the roof and he could pop at any minute. I actually predicted that it would happen to another TikToker a while back, and it did. He had a heart attack a couple months after I said it would happen, unfortunately so. Check that video here or in the description. And even Greg agrees with me on this.
And I think that he's going to die an early death because he's abusing performance-enhancing drugs.
Obviously, I don't wish that upon the kid whatsoever. I see a lot of young, impressionable kids looking up to influencers like this, and I hate to see them jumping on steroids just because they think being bigger is cooler. And their favourite influencer, Sam Sulek, is hating on smaller lifters. I don't want to be small. I want Sam to like me. Therefore, if I jump on the gear and I jump on the steroids and I make a TikTok, maybe Sam will notice me. Listen, lads, you don't need gear to be respected. You don't even need to hop on gear to build a big presence online. Sure, be in great shape, but don't compromise your health doing so. Life isn't just about getting as jacked as humanly possible to the point where you're shaving 20, 30 years off your life. So hopefully nothing happens to Sam, but him, along with many others, are pushing the limits of the body with these compounds, and it's not going to end well. And remember, boys, stay natural. If you need help in the gym, I've got a bunch of links and resources down in the description if you need any help, both free and paid. Comment below your thoughts on today's video. Make sure you subscribe with the bell turned on for daily uploads, and I'll see you all tomorrow.